What is up, NFL Divisional Playoff Round? And I am excited. Tyler, how you feeling about this weekend's games?
I'm feeling good. I think we're gonna have some good, fun, entertaining games. We're gonna find some winners on them, so we dive right into those.
Man, we got some competition here when it comes to winners. This guy, Nadestify, keeps putting money in my account. I still don't even know what channel hockey's on. Great job on the show, guys. They put out a hockey show. If you love NFL, NHL content, we've been finding like the minus 110 winners, Tyler. I mean, these guys are giving out. Well, I guess you find them. I give out the minus 110 winners. These guys are following in your footsteps, giving out the plus 500s. Love to see what you're doing, and I'm glad that we finally brought some hockey content here to runpuresports.com. Of course, if you're not a member, head on over. If you like my picks today, use the promo code SPREAD15. But most likely, I know you guys are going to go with the Sunrise Kid, Tyler. Wait, what's the name of the kid? The Sunshine Kid? There was some old Western with them. Anyways, I'll figure out your nickname later. That will be Tyler 15 if you want to see his winners. So let's dive right in, Tyler. You see my background. I'm having fun with this, changing the backgrounds every day. Today, I'm coming to you from Arrowhead Stadium because that's where the first game is going to take place. The Kansas City Chiefs are taking money, Tyler. -9. Totals 52.5. Man, I agree with this line move, to be honest, but the value might be gone now at 9. I don't know. I really like the Chiefs here. Of course, we have the great old Andy Reid off a bye narrative. Sundance Kid. Thank you, Bill. That's him. The Sundance Kid killing deer. Not too many beers for Tyler. Anyways, the Chiefs -9 here. Totals 52.5. What do you think, Tyler? I wanted to take the Chiefs, but this line's got too far out of control. What do you think?
Yeah, it's up to 9 on your book. I see 8.5. Okay. I don't hate teasing that 8.5 down under a field goal. I think because I could see this being one of those Chiefs games where they just kind of come out slow. And maybe they go down 17-0. We can get a nice live line on them and bet them then. And then they come back and win the game, say 24-17. So I could see something like that. I like McKinnon to get in the end zone at -125. Definitely like Christian Kurt at +190. Slot receivers have torn up KC, and he scored twice on them in the game earlier in the year. Definitely like those two props and like Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns. As for the total, I'm going to leave at 52.5 alone. I could see it going either way. It could be a shootout. Jacksonville's offense could show up and keep this somewhat closer. Kansas City might hang 35 on them here. So staying away from the total. Would rather tease the side down, but probably play it through a touchdown and win probably. Let's see what we can get, say, Kelsey to score and win. Kelsey to score and wins +110. I like that a lot better than laying at 8.5.
You have to attack Kelsey in player props and in DFS. Jaguars are one of the worst teams in the league, 30th in the league out of 32 teams. DVOA against tight ends. This is a tough game. So I think this is an interesting one where normally, right, taking the points correlates with the under. Less points means the points are more valuable. In this case, though, I think that taking the points correlates to the over. If you believe that Jacksonville is going to keep this game close, I think it goes over, right? If it's an under, it's because the Chiefs are putting up points. I think that's a safe bet as well, too. What do you think about a Chiefs team total? Because my idea here is if this game goes under, it's because Jacksonville didn't get there for us.
My worry, though, is the Chiefs, that we've seen them in this spot before. They kind of just let the other team play the whole first half by themselves.
In the playoffs, do that, though? Oh, I guess you're right. That was a couple years ago, though. That was when we were on the live shows. Remember I was getting so mad on those keg shows? That might have been the first time you guys heard me cuss. When they were down, what was the score against the Texans?
21-0
or 24-0, and I laid it with the Chiefs. I was so mad. We'll see. We'll see how that works out today. I could pull up some other fun stuff for us here right now. So you like McKinnon, you like Kelsey, and you like Christian Kirk on the other side, huh?
Yep. Those are my three guys in this game.
All right.
And I don't even mind Trevor Lawrence's rushing yards at 16.5. I can see Chris Jones and them guys chasing him out of the pocket, and he runs a little bit more here.
What do you think of Mahomes' rushing yards?
I'm probably going to leave out one alone here. I mean, Jags pass rush could get to him and make him run, but if they get out to a big lead, he's not going to use his legs. So
That's true. I just saw that in the playoffs, quarterbacks that run, like they usually are like at least 6 yards over their average. So they obviously run more with the season to their coach, right? During week 8, get down and slide, stay in the pocket, throw it away. With everything,
I think your mic's giving out on us.
Is it giving out again?
You sound like you're like talking through a fishbowl, to be honest with you.
All right, break something down.
You're good now, but it was like as you were like it was like you were losing volume almost.
All right, let's see what's going on here. If it gets bad, I'll switch to the headphones, the old school headphones I used to use. Jacksonville 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games, right? But they're 1-6 in their last 7 against Kansas City. Now, of course, this is probably dating back to like Blake Bortles and some of those really bad teams. So I don't know how indicative those are. Look at KC. KC's only 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games, and this year against the spread, they were only 7-10, while Jacksonville was 9-9. KC went 8-9 to the over this year, including the playoff games. Jacksonville's at 9-9 to the over, 2-6 to the over at home for the Kansas City Chiefs. So maybe that doesn't bode well for my overplay here. The total's gone under for the last 5 times that these teams meet. What do you think of that? Does that even matter, or are we basically just using information that doesn't matter? Because why does it matter what happened when Jalen Ramsey and Blake Bortles and right, Calais Campbell were on this team, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Did you send Kurt that link?
Yeah, I sent it to him. Kurt, you got a link. It's in your Twitter DMs.
I'll send him another one just in case. Yeah, we got to get Kurt's thought on this. Overall, like, I'm really curious to see how do you think that this game will affect next week? Like, for example, if Kansas City rolls, do you think that gives them a big edge? Because, spoiler alert, we think that the Sunday game is going to be a lot closer in the AFC, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I don't think this one could really affect it unless the Jags win. Like, Kansas City wins. If they blow them out, they blow them out. If they win by a touch 1, it's the same way. So I don't think it really affects it that much.
All right, let's see how this works. Here's our guy, straight from the gym. Where are you on the road to, Kurt?
All right, how's the audio?
Sounds pretty good.
We're good.
It's all good. I'm on my way to West Virginia. My parents are going to Honduras, so I'm just house sitting while they're gone.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I don't have anything in front of me, but I'll look stuff up from memory. So if I ask to pull something, my apologies.
Oh, no, that's fine. We can look stuff up for you. We appreciate you jumping on, and I know the people in the chat do too.
Did you drive past your old laptop?
Yes, ran it over. God, bro, that was so annoying. I was so pissed off too.
All right, we got to find these winners. So, are you gonna buy a MacBook or? So I'm looking for a laptop too because I'm gonna need one before the Kentucky trip.
I don't know, man. MacBooks are hard to learn. I'm stubborn. Like, ideally,
So I'm on a Mac right now. That's why I was thinking about getting a MacBook, just because I can mirror how I set up right now.
Exactly. I would definitely get a MacBook in that case. But me, I had to learn how to use it all over again. It's like, man.
All right. Well, my guy Nadestify says get a new MacBook Pro. And bro, if you keep doing this hockey show, it's going to be pretty easy for me, right?
The hockey show is going to pay for it.
Yeah. So, right, keep giving me those winners, man, in the hockey streets. I'm still not going to watch it, but I'm going to keep cashing to get that MacBook Pro M1. So, Kurt, the game that we're talking about, the Kansas City Chiefs, right? You got here just in time. We're still on the first game. Kansas City Chiefs. The line is moved to -9 now. The total's 52.5. I like the Chiefs originally, but as they continue to take money, I feel like the value's being sapped away. Do you think the Jacksonville Jaguars can keep this game close, Kurt?
No, I'm not. I've been against the Chiefs like all year with like betting them in big spreads like this. And I'm not taking this current line. I got it really early. But I really think they might smash them here, man. Like an emotional comeback win for the Jags last week. And then Trevor coming out, I don't know if he was trolling or not, saying how he done the Arrowhead would be much louder than Jacksonville was. Buddy, you're in for a big surprise. I just think they're going to come out and get smacked in the mouth, man. I think the environment's going to, like, the fans are going to feed off that. I think they do roll them here, but I would just do an alt line at this point. Like, it's gotten so far. If you already missed the boat, either use it as a teaser and something else, or just go full onslaught and bet them like 21 or some shit.
And I'm wondering, do you think it was actually people betting the Chiefs straight up, or do you think it was the teaser liability that caused these books to move it to 9?
That's a question for you. So I'll ask you, what do you think?
I think it's the teaser liability personally, because 8.5 to 9 is not really that big a move if you're betting straight up. But now instead of getting down to 2.5, I'm going to 3.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. I think they roll. I think the Jaguars.
How do you think the Jaguars' offense does? Because I think that's the key to the total. I think if it's a close game, this game's going to go over, right? But if it goes under, it's because Jacksonville's not going to get there for us. Trevor Lawrence looked pretty bad in that first half, right? I mean, that was Nathan Peterman-esque in the first quarter. He turned it around. Of course, it was at home against a team that's known for blowing leads. How do you think they'll fare against Kansas City? I think Chris Jones could wreak some havoc in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think there's going to be a reason why it ends up getting like a blowout. But like, don't you kind of think they're kind of get there and mop up duty? They've kind of been good that all year. That's why they have these comebacks. But
do they have mop up duty in the playoffs? Like, it's not like
you have like 1 or 2 touchdowns late. You can get like if it's like a 4-score game in the fourth.
Really switch to prevent if they're up by a lot.
Not prevent, but I mean, like if they're up like 30 points in the fourth, like 8 minutes left, the Jaguars score twice. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think they'll be that big though, right?
Yeah, but I mean still, I think
isn't that bad. Yeah. All right. Well, I was talking earlier about how bad Jacksonville against the tight ends, 30th in the league against tight ends. But Kelsey's pretty expensive. I talked with Travis on picking winners on Wednesday. He was basically saying you can, but realistically, you can't run a Mahomes-Kelsey stack this week on the 4-game slate because you're just going to be too bare for the rest of your field. How are you approaching this game from a DFS perspective? Kelsey seems like a smash spot if you can afford him. What Jaguars should we be targeting, if any?
First of all, if I use Kelsey, it's going to be in the flex. Because I love the 2 tight end build this week. There's a lot of great tight ends in that like low 4K range that can just get there on volume alone. So if I use him, it'll be in the flex. Well, he's what game? It's the first game, so he'll be in the tight end spot, and someone else will be there'll be another tight end in the flex. But you get what I'm saying.
Do we run both tight ends in this game? Ingram's been fucking smashing.
You really could. I like Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert might be my favorite one. I don't know how.
Goddard's going to smash this week.
You like Goddard more than Ingram?
Just a little bit, but I'll be like just rotating all these dudes. I'm going to have a lot more. I'm probably going to have the most double tight end builds I've ever had, like ever.
That's sweet. That's sweet. All right, running backs. Tyler liked McKinnon to get to the end zone. Have you seen his price tag, and what do you think of running McKinnon here?
Yeah, 6K. He'll be 50% again, and he'll just pound me right in the asshole, I guess. But I mean, like as far as like betting him to score anytime, they had like all those plays for him, and he's great near the red zone, and he's going to get those opportunities. He could legit score twice, but like, man, if he doesn't, I am really doing havoc on the field. I think it's guaranteed he scores once. If it is, can I keep him under like 12 points? Yeah.
All right.
So I'm going to fade, but I totally understand it. I could fade and bet him to score twice, though.
Okay. If I land on Jacksonville defense, I'm rebuilding. What do you think of Kansas City defense here, though? I think it's either them or the Eagles by far going to be the highest scoring defense.
I think if last week was any indication, I think it's that you have like 100.
Dang, we're losing you a bit there, Kurt. We'll have to come back to you.
Driving through a dead zone.
Yeah, it must be driving.
% freaking.
We lost you there a bit, Kurt. But what do you think? One more time, quick. See if we can get you here on the defensive.
So, you hear me? If last week was any indication, is that defense does not matter. Like, do not build anything around defense. Obviously, you don't have 100% Jags D, but I would just not put a lot into the defense, honestly.
Okay, so completely fade the defense. Tyler, who do you think will be the highest scoring defense this week?
I think it's got to come out of that Dallas San Fran game. I think somebody's going to take hold of that game and just dominate the other's offense. So I think it's one of the defenses.
All right. Anything more from this first game before we move on?
No, I think we hit on everything.
All right. Yeah. So, man, missed the boat on that total. I'm surprised. Usually people like dogs. I'm surprised the Chiefs are getting so much money. Like I said, it has to be this teaser liability. I
have one more play for this.
Okay, go ahead.
So Jamal Agnew over. I usually don't do these last possibly over 5.5 yards receiving. He usually has like one play a game. Doug has for him. I mean, you just feel like he's the gadget guy. This is the game where you pull out all the stops against Kansas City, against Andy Reid. Jamal Agnew is plus money over 5.5 yards receiving. I'm going to take a shot on it and hope it's one of those trick plays and he gets like 20, 30 yards, some shit like that. But I do like the over 5.5 plus money.
That's a cool prop. I like that one. And those ones are always fun because you're always alive no matter what, right? Because you take like a Derrick Henry over 100 yards, right? And he has like a 5-yard first half and you're pretty much dead. But that one, you're alive the whole game. So I like that prop a lot, Kurt. Let's move to the evening night game. This is going to be a fun one, man. At first, I wasn't excited for this, but the more I dived or dove, one of the two, jumped into this game and really broken it down, I think it might be a better game than I expect. Our guy Joey Work and our guy Mikey is going to love that. But originally, I was thinking this was going to be an Eagles smash spot. I don't know, man. I think the Giants might be able to keep this one close. Philadelphia Eagles are currently -8, so you can put them in a teaser. The total is 48.5. New York Giants catching 8 at home. A lot has been made by the fact that the Giants kept it close in that late season game, Tyler, where they sat a lot of players. And the other thing that people are really talking about, and this is one of the reasons that I'm staying off the Eagles so far and haven't bet it yet, Jalen Hurts isn't 100%. He said it. He said, I played hurt before, which indicates to me he's not 100%. And he's letting us know that. Now, it might not matter because the Eagles might be that much better. They're coming off a bye. They're getting healthy. I think only Avonte Maddox is the only one that's going to be out of all the key players that have missed time recently. So they're going to have that fully healthy offensive line. 10 of their 11 starters on defense. Should be a great spot for the Eagles, but this Giants team, man, they are on a roll. They look pretty good against Minnesota, and they do have the type of game and type of style to keep this close, right? If you want to cover a spread, you need to run the ball a lot, less plays, less opportunities for the opposing team's offense. Start with you, Tyler. New York Giants +8, total 48.5. What do you see?
Yeah, I kind of like the Giants here plus the 8 points. I mean, we seen them when they played. Dallas was the only team that was able to really take control of them in those two matchups and just beat them. They were able to tie Washington in the first game. The second game, they adjusted. They came back and beat them. They played the Vikings close early in the regular season. They adjusted in the playoffs. They came out and beat them. They played Philly pretty close in that last game with all their backups. My only counterpart there is Philly had nothing to play for in that game. Yeah, they were locking up the 1 seed. But you're playing all the backups for the Giants, and you have your guys out there. You're just going through the motions, just trying not to get guys hurt. So I don't take much from that game. My worry, though, is if Hurts is anywhere close to 100%, this 7.5 is probably low because they're not going to be able to stop him running the ball. They're going to funnel everything through the middle of the field, which means Devontae Smith and Goddard are just going to absolutely feast on this team. So I do like their props, and I don't hate taking the alt lines on them, like up over 100 yards and getting good, nice plus money on those. But to be honest, Fred, probably just going to tease this one down with the Chiefs. Just keep it simple. I think Philly advances. But if I can't do that, I'm just taking the +8 with the Giants.
I mean, at this point, I almost might just take the money lines and just not even worry about the threes and the twos.
It's not a bad idea either.
Yeah. Giants are 5-0 against the spread over their last 5 games. The total's gone over in 6 of the Giants' last 9 games. Giants 8-4 against the spread in their last 12 against Philly. I think this one matters a little more, right? We talked about Jacksonville and KC. They don't play that often. Taking their records against each other, you're taking it really far back. These are division opponents that know each other.
My other big worry
really
here
well.
too is Philly has an actual defense. The Vikings defense sucked, and Daniel Jones carved it both times he played it.
Yeah.
If they push back on him at all and like slow this offense down for the Giants and the Eagles are able to put up points, there's no way the Giants can keep up here.
Yeah, I mean, and that's we said it last week, right? That the Giants, they have to play well early to have a chance because they're not really built to come from behind. Those receivers have been doing a little better, right? I know that we've been kind of down on them and saying they have the worst receiving core in the league. But they're playing better as the season continued. They look pretty good. And the fact that Jones can move the ball with his legs does give that offense an extra dimension. Kurt, Philadelphia 1-4 against the spread over their last 5 games. Now they're laying 8 at home, but they've had the week off. The Giants have been playing a lot lately. What do you think of this one?
So, look, this Eagles team is scary, but I'm taking the Giants, man. I just think I know it's the playoffs and it's all holes barred, like you still got everything, but if Hurts is a little bit, if he's not 100%, I mean, I don't think I'd be rushing him a lot in the first quarter, and he will rush a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be like, I don't think he wants to take a lot of early hits. So if we can just avoid that by calling different play stuff, I think that'll do enough just to keep the Giants close. And like you said, that kind of is their forte. Like they do not want to be playing from behind, so kind of keeping them from having to do that early on will keep this game closer. I think it's going to be a freaking slugfest, punch for punch, divisional game. I will take I fucking still can't get this phrase down, man. Taking the points. No, I'm not laying the points.
Yes, you're taking the points with the Giants,
yes.
Or you'd be laying it with the Eagles. So.
Yes, Giants. Right. And I had a prop with Dallas Goedert over his receiving yards for the reasons I just said. Like I don't think they're going to want to be running him a lot. They obviously don't like to run with the running backs a lot. So Goddard short passes, Goddard screens over the middle, just like Tyler said. All this stuff is correlating for what I'm saying. Dallas Goedert over receiving and Giants to keep it close enough to spread.
What do you think, man? Daniel Jones did pretty good for me last week in DFS. It was on the lineup I had that cashed it. Actually doing really well going in that Monday night game. A couple of good performances from the Cowboys pushed them over me, but I was still able to have a nice cash with Daniel Jones in the quarterback spot. How are you approaching this game from a DFS perspective?
So I think he can do enough to keep it close, but I mean this Philly defense at Lincoln Financial is a little bit different than the Vikings defense and also the Vikings fan and that whole trust me, they're passionate, but it's just whole different vibe. And the people in the middle of the country are just too nice. Okay, they weren't cursing him, they weren't telling him to fuck off. These fans will be saying that, and he may have an 8-incher, but I think he will do enough to keep it close. But I don't love him. Love him for DFS. I really like. I mean, these receivers are still kind of cheap. Like Slayton's still. I know it's like secondary is pretty decent, but Slayton's like 4.2. Rich James still 3.9. I'm probably gonna be off Hodgkins now. He's close to 5K. It's a little scary, but yeah. So just like the pass catchers, I don't mind going back to Barkley either. It's not one of my top spend ups, but like I do think I think his receptions are like over 4.5 or 3.5 or something. I took that over 4.5. I took that over 2. I think they get him a little bit more involved in the passing game. So that's where I'm going. I really don't like Brown this week either. I like Tyler mentioned. I like Smith and Goddard more.
Tyler, what other props are you looking for this game?
Those are the ones I liked in this one. I like the Smith receiving yards and Goddard receiving yards, both their touchdowns. And I don't hate taking those two over their alt lines and knocking them up to like 100 yards. I've seen Goddard's up to plus 630 on 100, and I can get you Smith's price. My guess is his is going to be closer to 4-1. Let's see. Yeah, Smith to clear 100 yards plus 320.
Is Isaiah Hodgins elite?
He's good, man. I like him at Oregon State. I don't know about elite, but the kid is good. He just needed a chance, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? All these guys were just absolute studs, right? Their whole lives. So the idea just because we don't know them or they win in the 4th round doesn't mean they can't run routes and catch the ball when given the opportunity. So that's the thing about the difference between the National Football League and the college, right? It's just same thing with the NBA. Even the worst bench warmer is just an absolute stud. So given their opportunities, a lot of these guys can shine. So I think this is a tough game. I think the books did a good job of lining this well. Tyler, if you're forced to pick a side, are you laying the 8 or are you taking the points?
I'm taking the points if I'm forced to take a side.
All right. Well, maybe I'll join you guys because Kurt made it pretty good strong there. I got the projections in finally. I do. My guy Clyde's going to love this. I don't see him in the chat today, but I have the Eagles winning by 8.5. Really close to the number, but I think the teasers are the way to go. Yeah, we saw that one coming. We'll talk about that next. Nadestify on the NBA rundown here. And we'll have Travis today, so that should be quite the challenge to try and make it through it all. So Anything more on the Giants and the Eagles, Tyler?
Nope, we could jump into Sunday's games.
Let's go. It's time for the main event. This is the best game of the weekend. We didn't get a chance to see it on Monday Night Football, and we understand why, and they made the right decision. But now we get a chance to see this game completed. The difference is they'll be in Buffalo this time and not Cincinnati, and it's win or go home. Both teams, right, showed some issues last week, right? I thought the Bills looked a little sloppy against the Miami Dolphins. I don't think the game should have been that close. I know it's a divisional game. I still don't rate Miami that highly, and I kind of downgraded the Bills a little bit. And I'll go ahead and show my bias. I didn't downgrade the Bengals as much for the Ravens because, number one, the Ravens are top 5 defense in the league. They're just a better divisional opponent that showed more throughout the past 5 years than the Miami Dolphins have. And I thought that was really, a tough situation for the Bengals to be in. So I like Cincinnati plus the points. I think the Joe Burrow, hot take here. I think he's better than Josh Allen. He'll have the best receiver on the field. I know there's worries about the line, but the thing is, the line wasn't that good to begin with, right? So if you're not like an elite all-pro lineman, how much worse is your backup? So Burrow's already used to playing behind an absolutely terrible line, and I think they can get this done. I'm more worried actually about the injuries in the defensive side of the ball for Cincinnati, particularly the secondary. That could be some issues there. But besides Stephon Diggs, who's really showed out? Now, I know that Gabe Davis has had a couple big games so far this year, but we can't always count on him. I think they should be able to take him away. We've also seen what the Cincinnati Bengals are able to do in the second half of games after they get all that film on the first half. Pease is one of the best defensive coordinators when it comes to adjusting throughout the game. Although, did you see Peyton Manning saying, hey, it's not halftime adjustments. We're adjusting series to series. So, hey, maybe not halftime adjustments, but adjustments per se, and taking advantage of what they've seen. Tyler, give me the big cats. Give me the Bengals here. What do you think?
I'm going to go opposite of you. Give me the Bills here.
All right,
I mean, I know we've seen the little bit of that game on the Monday night where Cincinnati was able to go right down the field and score. Buffalo went down and got a field goal. We didn't see much else out of that. But what we did see in that game is Josh Allen ran 2 times on one drive. If he's going to run 2 times on the first drive in that game, if he runs as much as he was going to run there in this game, that 47.5 on his rushing yards is low. So I like the over there. I like Diggs' receiving yards because I think he absolutely torches Eli Apple multiple times this game. And I think you could see Allen load up for a couple of deep balls, hit him for touchdowns. And you were saying like how he doesn't really have these receivers to go off. He doesn't outside of Diggs and Davis really, but this offense and team is just built so much around Josh Allen. If he explodes right here, and I know he didn't last week, he kind of pissed down his leg against Miami. That was a divisional team with 2 very good corners that could get a pass rush on them, and they see him multiple times a year. So I'm not taking much out of that, similar to why we didn't take much out of Cincinnati versus Baltimore. Those AFC North games are always played close. So in this matchup, I think you get a better Josh Allen. If the turnovers flip their way a little bit, which have been very good for Cincinnati, for instance, they were about to lose that game to Baltimore. If Tyler Huntley doesn't do the Lion King with the football at the 2-yard line
the Lion
and try and reach for the goal line, there was no way he was reaching it from there. They run it to the other end, 14-point swing. They win the game easily. So my thing here is I think Buffalo flips some turnovers, and I think you actually see them kind of run away with this game. I think you see their pass rush get in on Cincinnati, and I think there's a way to slow this offense down. I don't think it's as hard as people make it out to be. Mixon's non-existent in the run game. P. Ryan's not running the ball either. It's all through the air. And if Burrow has no time, there's no chance. So give me the Bills.
All right, we're opposite here. Kurt, one thing I want to point out here, Josh Allen, a lot of the criticisms for him being drafted was being sloppy with the ball, being over-aggressive, too many turnovers. Then we've seen what a great coach Brian Dable is, right? Because he's turned Daniel Jones into a pick, right?
Yeah. Don't start talking about Dable. I might get a chubby here. That's my guy, man.
Yeah, I mean, Dable's gone, and now Josh Allen.
Turnovers are back.
A little more reckless here. Tyler thinks he gets it under control. I think it could be another rough day for the kid out of Wyoming. Where are you landing?
I'm with you. And Tyler said it. He thinks that they're going to win because the turnovers are gone, and I don't believe that. I think Dable's gone, and all of a sudden the turnover problem's back. Dable's not walking through the door, okay? And this is a playoff game. Go on,
just look at some of them turnovers from last week. Like the Miami defensive touchdowns, for instance. He just dropped the ball. Like how many times is he just going to drop the ball and it's just going to bounce backwards away from him into the end zone?
See, I don't know if this game, if it'll be the quantity of turnovers, where it'll be a late game interception, where like he has no turnovers for the game and he just throws a freaking heartbreaker late, trying to do a little bit too much. Because I don't know if David was saying, look, you don't got to be a hero every play, or I mean, he still kind of played like this, but it just seems like some of the throws are like, well, what the hell are you doing? So I don't think it'll be so much the quantity as the shit. I don't even know if I'm using that right, but you all know what I'm saying. I think it'll be a late game interception.
Quantity would be 3 turnovers, but quality would be a back-breaking interception with 5 minutes to go.
I guess what I was saying was there's really no such thing as a quality turnover, but yeah, you all know what I'm saying. So I think it'll be a late game interception. Give me the Bengals. I really think they're about to roll their asses on the Monday night game where that tragedy happened. So I'm backing them here again, man. I think they make another late run. I think this offensive line, they just need time to click. And like you said, they battled injuries, but I mean, you throw in one guy, it's a lot different than getting 5 guys who haven't worked together all year than getting one guy more integrated. So give me the Bengals.
All right, so we both like the Bengals. West Coast says it sounds like Brett Favre. And I talked about this on my show, The Wagering World, yesterday. The difference when Favre played was the rules weren't completely stacked towards the offense. So you could absorb turnovers more. Now these teams can move between the 20s so easily that defense hasn't become, just not giving up yards per play. It's creating turnovers and red zone defense. That's what really matters to be a solid defense in the NFL, because they've changed these rules. I mean, you can't even get near a defensive receiver without a defensive holding, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down. I hate that automatic first down. They need to get rid of that. But now turnovers matter so much more because the defenses are put in such a bad position. So
Kurt brought up the offensive line and how it's not a problem to integrate one guy. But what happens when you're integrating like 3 to 4 guys, because they're down multiple guys now?
Yeah, they lost Lael Collins, and then they lost. Kappa might play, but I don't know. I don't know if he'll be 100%. What's up?
Jonah Williams ain't playing.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing. Kappa's the one.
Kappa play.
And it's like a dislocated kneecap. Can he really play on that, Kurt?
I don't know. I mean, he's a guard, so it's a lot. It's a lot more likely as a guard to play with it than a tackle. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. All right. Here's another good point. Josh Gillum. Von Miller's a huge loss for the Bills. You notice the Bills stopped blowing people out right after he got hurt. He meant so much to that pass rush. So we'll see how this goes. But this is fun. We're on the opposite side. One of us will be able to victory lap next week. And it's nice that I'm with Kurt this time, because I've been going against you all year. So we're just jumping right in there. But I want to talk about this comment right here. Where is it? Oh, it's from our guy Marquee Music Group. Marquee, love it. Will it be a shootout? Do you mini stack this game? What do you think, Kurt?
I like that because you got T. Higgins 5.8, and I mean I'm gonna be a little bit lower on Davis, but like you can stack those two. That's a cheap way to get exposure to this game. I mean, you still want Diggs and Chase the studs, but like it's easier to stack up now when you.
We're losing him again. We'll have to go back to that one, Tyler. Props for this game besides the Josh Allen. What else are you looking at?
Yeah, I don't hate taking James Cook here because I think he kind of takes that role from Devin Singletary. You're getting plus 210 on him to score a touchdown there. Don't hate that. The Allen rushing prop we already talked about, like that one. Josh didn't touched on it. Boyd was able to get in the end zone that first week against Buffalo. I'm going to take him again here. I think he's in the perfect spot to eat up against that defense. And then if McKenzie plays, I know he didn't play last week. If he plays this week, he's going to be in for a lot of targets versus this Cincinnati defense. He's slowly become the wide receiver that gets all the little dump offs and all the little out routes. So love his spot here too.
All right. So let's see. You like the Bills. We'll try and get Kurt back in here. And of course, we'll round up the DFS aspects of this game. I mean, you've cashed some big DFS this year, Tyler. You're qualified to speak on it. What do you think about stacking up this game? Of course, I'm just going to wake up and listen to AP and the gentleman on on Saturday morning and go with what they're playing. But you've done a great job here. What are your thoughts here? Would you stack this game up, or do you think it's better to be balanced?
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, it's like I don't think you get many points out of the Giants side. Like if the Giants cover that game's just going to be ugly. So nothing much out of that game. The Jags-Chiefs game, you probably got to need some pieces out of that. And then the next game we're going to talk about, you're definitely going to need pieces out of that. So maybe a mini stack like Josh was saying in the chat, but I mean, I guess a full-on stack will get you a little different maybe. I don't know how ownerships are projecting and all that like those guys do.
Yeah.
But I mean, and it's also going to be goddamn expensive to stack this game. Like,
that's what I'm thinking too. So I can't wait to tune in tomorrow morning. Of course, guys, make sure you subscribe to the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. These guys are going to go live tomorrow morning and Sunday morning. So tomorrow morning, I don't know if they'll do the 4-game or the 2-game. It seems like everything that we've done early in this week content has been based towards the 4-game slate. Might be based more towards the 2-game slate. I'll let those guys decide it though. And I'm going to take advantage of their wisdom. I recommend that you do too by becoming a member of Run Pure Sports.
Also, like Dawson Knox touchdown spread. That was the other prop I like. I mean, dude just scores every week. It's the playoffs.
Yeah. He's
a great red zone target for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 4 games, the main content. Thank you, Nadestify. Of course, to become a member, use that promo code SPREAD15, or if you're digging those parlays that Tyler gives out, Tyler15 if you're in for the Sundance Kid. Thank you, Bill, for reminding me of the name. It's Butch. I can be Butch Cassidy then, right, Bill? I can be Butch Cassidy. Now it's all coming back to me. Let's talk about the final game of the day. The San Francisco 49ers at home taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Tyler, both teams looked great last week, right? 49ers are just on a roll. Jimmy G truthers like me are in hell because Brock Purdy looks better week after week. In fact, Trey Lance truthers might be in hell because he might be on the trading block, and you might just roll with this kid right here. He seems to have everything that it needs to succeed in a Kyle Shanahan offense. And people will say, well, people are 5 yards open every single time. Well, it doesn't matter because this is the team he's on. We're not talking about ranking him as a quarterback, right, just in a redraft. We're talking about being the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, which is what he is. Now, the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, like my guy Wesco said, he was the one that knocked me out of that huge payout last weekend as he had an excellent game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But, Tyler, let's be honest, this is not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, right? You're going against arguably the best defense in the league. Coach D'Amico Ryans does an excellent job. And, of course, Kyle Shanahan's play calling here. Another fun twist, right? Dan Quinn was Kyle Shanahan's head coach. These guys know each other pretty well. I'm wondering, who do you think that gives an advantage to? My initial one was thinking that it would be Quinn because Shanahan would be reporting to him, right? So he'd be running everything through Quinn. Quinn would probably be more involved with Shanahan's game preparation than Shanahan would be worried about what the Falcons were doing on defense. Or is this 5 years ago? It's a long time ago. It doesn't even matter. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm going to go with it's 5 years ago. I don't think anything really matters. My thing about this spread is you're talking about defense, and this isn't the Tampa Bay defense.
Right.
Well, here's who Purdy's played in his starts. Miami, Tampa Bay, Seattle, Washington, Vegas, Arizona, Seattle. I don't hear a good defense at all. This is going to be his first real test with a real pass rush that's going to come after him. Mm-hmm. Could the kid show up and be good for the position and just play lights out like he's been doing? Yes. But I'm going to lean towards the side that he doesn't. I think Dallas is going to keep this game really close. If that same Dallas team showed up from last week, they're going to be all over them. They're going to be putting up a ton of points. I'm probably going to be on the plus 3.5 here spread with a small sprinkle on the money line. If my best take for this game, though, regardless of winner, this is your team that's coming out of the NFC. This is your NFC championship game right here.
Okay, Tyler, we're opposite again because in my mind, you're telling me the NFC champions are going to be the San Francisco 49ers. This will be Dallas's 4th road game in 5 weeks. And we talked about it before. Tampa shouldn't have been even in the playoffs, right? And now, to be fair, Seattle is not the best team either. But I don't know, man. I'm not buying in on this Dallas team just yet. And I do believe that Shanahan and these weapons are going to have the teams. They just have too many options, right? I mean, McCaffrey, Debo, they're both so versatile. It's really going to be tough to see. I know that they like to put Diggs. He shadows the best receiver. I mean, what's he going to do? Shadow Debo? Then it's a Christian McCaffrey all day. And even then, do you even think that Diggs can slow down Debo? I mean, obviously, He's a great receiver that can create turnovers. Debo's going to look pretty big when they're lined up next to each other. And then we haven't even talked about Brandon Ayuk or George Kittle, their ability to get loose. Great offensive line here. Something that when we were detracting from Tampa Bay earlier in the year, right? What did we say? Same thing you were talking about Cincinnati earlier when we disagreed on that game. Tampa Bay came into that game with a ton of injuries on their offensive line. The San Francisco 49ers offensive line is quite healthy, and I think that Shanahan has the schemes to be able to keep Purdy out of the grasp of Michael Parsons. San Francisco is at home. That's a long trip, man. You're in Florida last week. Now you're in San Francisco this week. You've been traveling all around. Great win last week. They were celebrating, and good job for them taking out Tom Brady. I don't want to, it's still Tom Brady. So, great job there. But I just think the San Francisco 49ers is just too much. Team is too much on both sides of the ball. We're going to be opposite again, Tyler. One of us going to be printing, the other one going to be crying. We'll see here. By
just
the
to
end
touch on a couple things in the chat, Josh says Diggs won't move to the slot. He will guard Ayuk, in my opinion. I'm with him on
better.
That. Yeah, he's going to be on Ayuk.
So you're going to give me Debo, McCaffrey, and Kittle against the weaker defenders?
Yeah, and then Nate is fine in the chat. He says Dak lights up a shit defense. Everybody's slobbing him. Now he plays the 49ers defense. 49ers defense ain't the same unit it was earlier in the year. I mean, we watched Stidham throw all over him. We watched Seattle get up and down the field. I mean, you can't – I could see Dallas matching this offense and just the points are there. And the great nullifier to all those weapons spread is Michael Parsons. If he's all over Purdy and he can't get the ball out in time, those weapons now can't get the ball. So it's going to be a close game. I think this is your NFC Championship game. I'm just siding with Dallas.
Yeah. All right. And this is fun. We'll be opposite here. I just think that this offense.
San Fran hasn't lost a game since like week 6 too. Like they're due for just a little bit of a hiccup spot. Now,
but it's not like the regular season where you would go, oh, we're winning, let's party, let's go out, let's get some girls, right? I mean, this is the playoffs. Everybody's focused.
I agree, but they also haven't really played anybody tough in forever. This is going to be the first real team that's going to push back their way. I mean, yeah, the Raiders did, but did the game mean anything? Not really. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people expect.
Yeah, I tend to throw that Raiders game out. They had no film on the quarterback, and you saw the classic Josh McDaniels offense. You saw what that Raiders team was supposed to be in the preseason, right? With the multiple weapons. Waller was finally back in the lineup. Renfro was finally back in the lineup. Stidham understood the system. I kind of throw that game out, and they were still able to get the win. I mean, Purdy put up 37, and I know the Raiders defense sucks, and we shouldn't even be comparing them. But what it shows me is that this kid can get it done, and we keep saying, oh, well, he's a rookie quarterback, rookie quarterback, this rookie. Well, it still hasn't happened, right? And last week, they say, well, he hasn't faced any adversity. They were down going into halftime, and he came out and led a hell of a drive just to start that third quarter and really set the momentum for that second half here. So I like the 49ers here. You like the Cowboys. Like I said, one of us is going to be counting that cash. The other one's going to be crying. Props for this game. What do you like?
Yeah, love Purdy's rushing yards here. I mean, he's a mobile quarterback. They haven't really reacted to that on the props yet. You're still getting that prop really low, and they have a pass rush that's going to chase him out of the pocket. So over 6.5 rushing yards, love that. I think that's way too low.
It's only 6.5?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Definitely love that. I'm going to play some CeeDee Lamb props. His receiving yards are 78.5. I think he clears that. CMC's is 37.5. Also think he clears that. And then I'm going to leave Kittle alone because I'm on the same page as Anthony in the chat. Kittle's going to be used as a blocker.
That's great knowledge here.
They're going to have to use him to keep these Michael Parsons and Dexter Lawrence's away from them. Or DeMarcus Lawrence. I had the Giants guy mixed up in there. And then other than that, I mean, maybe a Brock Purdy over 1.5 touchdowns. He's thrown 2+ touchdowns in every game he started. He could do it again right here in a shootout. So I don't hate those props. My favorite's definitely Purdy's rushing yards.
I think, hey, this is great information for DFS, but I almost feel like it helps my points. Kittle's one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. In fact, he played offensive line and worked with the offensive line coach when he was in college. So, if anyone takes pride in his blocking, it's Kittle. And that's just one more piece that Shanahan can use to try and neutralize this great Dallas defense. So CeeDee Lamb is Josh Gillum's favorite wide receiver this week. Dalton Schultz is going to go crazy, according to Jeremy Millionaire. What do you think about those two players and their props, Tyler?
Yeah, love Lamb's prop. And then, I mean, Schultz, It's in a nice spot. My thing is San Fran's linebackers are a lot better than the Tampa ones they played last week where Schultz was in a nice soft spot. Could he go off again? Yes, but I think I'm going to lean more towards the CD game here.
All right. So you like CD a little more. Hey, this game's going to be fun. I think Sunday's the better games personally. I mean, obviously the lines say that because we have 2 games that are over a touchdown, 2 games that are under a touchdown. Should be a great weekend of football. This is my favorite weekend of the whole year, especially now that they've got rid of the buys. I remember this would have been like 15 years ago, right? When I was first betting NFL, I would always bet the favorites this week coming off the buys, right? Because you'd have these weaker teams and they'd look good in a wild card game and then they'd go against a rested team. Now with only 1 buy, and then like we talked about, questions around each team, particularly the Philadelphia Eagles coming off that buy, I think it gives us a chance for a closer game. So, yeah, I'm glad they made the 4-game slate, not 2 games each day. Although, right, if you want action, there's 2-game slates too, and they'll be breaking those down, of course, here on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. Guys, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified every time somebody goes live, and we're going to be doing that here in about 8 minutes. Tyler, wait, do I have you for NBA today?
I think I'm going to sit NBA.
I said last week, and then you weren't there, so yeah. Okay. So no, it'll just be me and Travis today.
I'm gonna get to work on these playbooks so they can have them up before tip-offs tonight.
Okay, and I did get the projections in there, so we do have the projections in there. And we're going to be opposite on some of the tags, but I think some of my projections lean more towards you because I know that I have the Bills winning by 6, and in this 49ers game, I got it right on 4. So there you have it. So, hey, we're going to be head-to-head, but it's time for the best bets. What's your best bet for the day for the weekend?
I'm going to go right back to that Brock Purdy prop over 6.5 rushing yards. I think you see him kind of get up over that number really early in the game. And I think he's going to run 4 to 5 times, maybe more than that, depending on how much they chase him out of the pocket. So getting 6.5 on that, I think that's way too low. My
favorite bet of the weekend. I'm taking the Bengals on the money line, but hey, I think my favorite is take the plus 5.5. I'm really surprised that this line is so high. And I know we don't want to take too much from the beginning of that game, but this Bengals team looked like it can hang. I understand they are in a different area, but I'm not going against Joe Burrow. I'm not going against these guys. They managed to overcome the odds multiple times. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals plus 5.5. So there you have it. Next week, we'll be back for the conference championship round. Who knows where Kurt will be? Might be coming to us live from the tanning bed, but we appreciate him jumping on. And
I don't know if that's good for his phone or his camera.
Yeah, I know. But hey, we're doing it all here over at runpuresports.com. Of course, if you want to become a member, use that promo code SPREAD15 or Tyler15. Hey, whoever wins you more money this weekend, use that promo code, become a member, get in the Discord. Get access to all the playbooks. Tyler, the NFL playbook's been on fire, especially with your props. And then, of course, we've been touting it before, but the NBA playbook, the RPB tags continue to win. We did it again last night. I'll be talking about it real soon here with Travis Mangone. So go ahead, guys, log off, take a 5-minute break, grab a snack, cup of coffee, call the lady. We'll be back in 5 minutes with the NBA rundown here on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. We're talking touchdowns every Friday. Tyler, what do you think? Any last words before we get out of here?
Nope, just enjoy all the good football this weekend because after this, we only got 2 more weeks of football left.
Yeah, we really have 3 games left because did they get rid of the Pro Bowl? But I never watched it anyways. People be like, you're going to watch the Pro Bowl? You got to be kidding.
And I refer to that couple months when we don't have football and then basketball ends as the dark ages. But we got our guy Joey Work. He's going to be handing out a ton of winners in baseball. So
not to mention I'm going to be crushing tennis just like I did last year.
Click the bets and then just tell them to the winners. So
yeah,
that's what we'll have coming up here. Some Joey Work winners.
Yeah, so enjoy that football before we do the baseball and tennis winners. So, guys, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Until then, run pure.